In the last few days on the channel, the content for Ultimate Alliance 3 has been a little bit on the lighter side, just due to the fact that all I really had left to cover was the beginner's guides, but with the Curse of the Vampire DLC that's all going to change. We've got a heap to cover, and there's going to be a lot of videos coming out in the next couple of days. Now, the first 4 videos that I'm going to do will be concentrating on the 4 new characters, so of course it's Punisher, Blade, Morbius and also Moon Knight. So what I'm going to do is almost like a mini beginner's guide, almost a first impressions would probably be the best word for it. So what I'll do firstly with the character that I'll be covering, in this instance it will be Punisher we start off with. I'll go in, I'll quickly talk about their gauntlet and how you actually unlock them and the optimal characters to use. We'll then have a look at their abilities and their stats. Next up we'll check out some gameplay. Now I've got them all up to level 100, so what I'm going to do is run them through the stage you can actually see on the screen at the moment. I'm only going to use that character and I'm going to see how quickly and efficiently I can actually clear that stage. That way we can compare all the 4 characters against each other, and then once we've actually done that I'll just give my overall first impressions. But we'll start off talking about how you actually unlock them, and it is via the new gauntlet mode. Punisher will be the first character you actually unlock when you jump into the new gauntlet mode. He's available via the level 10 phase. This one's called Immortal War. So we're going to actually check it out. Now if you're a higher level player you probably don't really have to bother with this particular section, to be honest, because you can just brute force your way through it. But for lower level players it's worthwhile checking out. So we've got 4 stages in total. Once you finish the 4th stage you unlock them. You can see that with the stages here, there's actually 3 of them when you need to defeat bosses. So if you get in with a boss killer the likes of Black Panther or even Elektra or Psylocke, that can really help out. You can only use your extreme attack once during the whole 4 stages. So again, if you're a lower level player, save your extremes till the final stage when you fight all the different bosses and then fire it off. But other than that, this is really a nice easy gauntlet. So let's now check out his abilities. The first ability you unlock then is Heavy Artillery. So with this one, leap into the air and shoot an assault rifle in the direction the character is facing. It's a simple enough skill, and most of the skills you unlock first generally are. Then got Fire in the Hole, very similar to Deadpool's grenade skill, so it retreats while throwing grenades in the direction the character is facing. So that and Heavy Artillery are all about actually staying mobile when you cast them and getting out the way of harm. Smokescreen is up next, so this one blinds foes with smoke bombs and then attacks with a knife. Simple enough skill. Damage rating is up at an A, so it could be nice to use on an elite or a boss that's stunned or staggered. And then finally Sniper Shot, that allows you to get your revenge on the snipers in Wakanda. So aims and fires a sniper rifle in front of the character, damage is increased to foes caught in the laser sight first, and you can hold down the button to charge to do additional damage as well. So that's all the abilities. Let's have a very quick look at his stats and see if he's got any hero traits. So there's no hero trait at all here, unfortunately. Looking at the tags on his abilities very quickly, it's a wide mix. You need an ISO that does flat damage because you've got projectile, you've got piercing and you've got energy as well. His stats are really on the low side, to the point that I even triple checked them because I thought these stats can't be right for Punisher. They just don't seem correct at all. So just to break them down anyway, his strength comes in at a C rating, his vitality is an F, and that's the one that had me scratching my head because Frank should be durable. He shouldn't be a squishy glass cannon character at all. His mastery is an F, so that'll affect the Fire in the Hole skill. His resilience and durability are both Fs as well, so that along with his vitality, that's an F. It's going to make him exceptionally squishy, and that just doesn't sit right with me. His energy is an A, so on the plus side there at least you'll be able to keep firing off all his skills, but really disappointed with how squishy he is. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to jump into the Mega Rift, and it's the Wakandan Rush one, and we'll do this with each of the 4 characters. We'll do an entire playthrough using that specific character, and then that way we can actually compare all of them and see who comes off best out of this pack of 4 new characters. So let's jump into this gameplay here. With this stage then, it's the first time I'll actually be using Punisher. When I do the other videos for the remaining characters, it'll be the first time I use them as well, in fairness, so that way it will take me probably a minute or 2 to actually get used to them and figure out some kind of working rotation. And at the end of it, what we'll do is we'll see how long it's actually taken us, we'll see if the character's been downed or anything like that, and then from there I'll give my initial impressions. So let's actually just work our way through, and we've got 200 enemies to defeat here. And there we go, 200 enemies defeated. So that was 4 minutes 23 it took there, which is definitely a little bit on the longer side. Of course, I've not optimised these ISOs or anything like that, but it is at level 100. In regards to his abilities, the first two that you use when you're repositioning yourself feel a little bit strange, but when you use that ability with the smoke bomb to get close and then use it with the grenades, it felt like a nice rotation in that you're going in close and then you're jumping back, and you could even follow that up from there with the sniper rifle that I absolutely loved, and it did look to be doing a huge amount of damage as well. Heavy and light attacks, I like what they've done. If you have a hybrid character, I like that one of them will actually be melee based and one of them will be range based. That way you can choose if you want the character to be melee or ranged, really depending on which attack you use. The ultimate was absolutely incredible, very reminiscent of Deadpool's once again, pulling out all the different weapons and fire them off. I'm not sure where he actually stores them, but I'm not going to complain, because for me Punisher's a character that has to have a huge amount of weapons. Really, that's what makes him so fun. So overall, decent enough character. He's certainly not a Cyclops or Colossus in that the first time I played them I was absolutely blown away or anything like that, but I'll try and put in more time and see if I can get him to click. But let me know in the comments below if you've unlocked him, how you're getting on with him. If you've not unlocked him, let me know what you think of this quick preview, and I'll see you all again soon for, most likely, I reckon it'll be Blade that will be up next.